right, Pete Rose, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Okay.
Always a nice pleasure to come to Chicago.
Glad your name wasn't Christy Mathewson or something.
Yeah,
Vern Stevenson.
The only thing better than my name is Yaz or Ty Cobb.
So what's keeping you busy other than signing autographs these days?
That's what I do. I mean, I do a lot of traveling and work with a lot of kids in batting cages and watch a lot of Major League Baseball and stay up on top of the game. You know, care about the game, want it to succeed. Reds are doing well this year. We go watch Strasburg pitch Wednesday night.
Okay. It's a pretty impressive young kid.
So far, yeah.
So
yeah, for no big league experiences.
Not bad.
There's some really good pitching performances this year so far.
Yeah, that's a little strange after all the hitting, and then all of a sudden we're back to pitching. It's like, okay, we're back to the 1960s again.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I was playing in the 60s and 70s, there were some pretty darn good pitchers. A lot of them. A lot of them on every team. We used to have a road trip, all right? We have a road trip where we play nine games and face 6 Hall of Famers.
A little tough.
We go to LA and face Koufax and Drysdale, go up north to San Francisco and face Perry and Marichal, and stop in St. Louis on the way home and face Gibson and Carlton. That's a rough road trip. Unlike today, there's some really good pitchers,
right.
but there's a lot of teams today compared to when I played.
Yeah.
You know?
Most staffs aren't more than about 2 deep as in terms of top of the rotation.
Some got 3, but and use a 5-man rotation. And you know, if you analyze baseball, and I'm sure you do, a lot of the runs in baseball are scored today in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings.
Yeah.
Because most every team has a good closer or someone they call a closer, and that middle relief is no glamour. You know, there's no glamour.
That's why the good teams will make the starting pitcher work, get his pitch count up. He'll get to about 100. They'll take him out.
I agree with Nolan Ryan, man. You can throw that pitch count out the window.
Yeah.
You know, his pitchers don't have a pitch count.
Yeah.
And when I managed the Reds, I didn't have a pitch count. The only time I had a pitch count is when you had a guy maybe coming back from rehab or something like that. Then you got to watch how many pitches he's going to throw. But can you imagine telling Bob Gibson or Don Drysdale or Juan Marichal, well, you got 105 pitches. I got to take you out in the 8th inning. You know,
that'd be a pretty good battle on the mound, I would think.
I thought a guy the other day threw a no-hitter or a perfect game or something, threw 149 pitches.
Yeah. Live to tell about it too.
I mean, so you know, the only thing I don't like about the baseball managers today, it seems like when most teams leave spring training, the pitchers aren't ready to pitch 9 innings.
Yeah.
And because of that, you use a lot of your bullpen in April and May, and then they get tired in August and September. I mean, you're down spring training for 6 or 7 weeks. I mean, you ought to be able to have a program where you can get a pitcher ready to pitch 8 or 9 innings on opening day. And too many of these pitchers today, they throw too many balls. They nibble too much.
Right.
What we call nibble. And then when you start nibbling, you're going to throw a lot of pitches. And you throw a lot of pitches, it's going to catch up with you.
Now, if memory serves me right, next Sunday, some ball players get inducted into the Cooperstown. You going?
A real good player played right here in Chicago.
Yeah.
When I played with him in Montreal, Andre Dawson, great guy.
Yeah.
Very deserving.
A lot of people say Pete Rose is still very deserving. Is this something we can anticipate in your lifetime? Do you have to die?
I don't know. I don't even think about it. It's not in my control. It's in Bud Selig's hands. If I ever get lucky enough to go to the Hall of Fame, I'd be the most appreciated guy in the world because I understand, you know, what it takes to get there. And I watched a lot of my teammates go in there, and I watched a lot of the guys I played against go in there. And I kind of had a Hall of Fame induction the day I broke the record. You know, when I got that 9-minute standing ovation in Cincinnati. That's a long ovation.
One already has me down.
I think it's probably the same kind of deal.
So you going to Cooperstown, staying away? I know
I'm not going this year,
Okay.
but I enjoy going up there. It's a great little village. And like I say, every year somebody goes in, I know them, I played against them, they're friends of mine.
Now, when you played with and against Andre, did you say to yourself, that guy's going to be in the Hall of Fame one day?
Well, I don't think I said it about anybody, but I just knew Andre was a great player and he's a great teammate. And I had lunch with him a couple weeks ago. He's just he's a credit to the game. He was a great offensive player. He could run. He had a great arm, and he was a nice guy. So it ends up to the Hall of Fame.
And if he hadn't had to play on that service in Montreal, his knees might have lasted a little bit.
Yeah.
But that was part of the game back in the day.
Well, back in those days, we had a lot of AstroTurfs. Astrodome, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And Atlanta was just as bad because it was so hard.
So this year's Reds, can Dusty manage them to the division title? Or is it more on the players?
No, I think you can. See, the Reds are in a pretty good position, as are the Cardinals. And I'm not saying this to put anybody down, okay? But when you're in a division and you have Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, Houston, and the Cubs, you play them guys 74 times. You got to be way over 500. I mean, it's just the way. It may not be that way next year,
Right.
or it may not be that way 3 years from now. But those teams are not very good baseball teams. They're just not very good baseball teams, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Reds play when they start playing some of the teams in the West that are over 500. You know, someone told me the other day that the Reds have like 20, 27 or 28 games left with teams under 500. The rest of them are over 500. When you think of Atlanta's having a good year, the Mets are having a good year, Philadelphia's having a good year, and there's 4 teams in that division over 500. San Diego's having a good year. LA's having a good year. San Francisco's having a good year. Rockies there's 4 teams over 500. You got 4 teams under 500 in the Western.
They're in the right division, I'll say that much.
They're in the right division.
Well, we'll see what.
The secret there is, if you're in a weak division, beat up on them.
Right.
Don't beat up on them. Take advantage of them.
Yeah. We'll see what a pennant race does to a team down the stretch. Sometimes they look great in April, May, even in June.
Cincinnati got off to a horrible start.
Yeah.
Cincinnati played their first 18 or 20 games this year without a starter getting a victory. Now all of a sudden they're where they are right now because of their pitching.
We'll see how it holds up.
And they got, you look at their infield. There's four guys on the infield. 3 of them are on the All-Star game. Phillips, Rowland, Votto. Those are good players.
Yeah. Not the big red machine, but
Not yet. There's only one big red machine.
all right. Thank you for your time.